Alfonso, hey, congratulations there are no saints.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited about the release.
We're all excited about the release of your film too, because this is such an action-packed thriller that you actually created. But let's ask that question: is what attracted you to direct this project?
Well, the first thing that attracted me, to me, this is a man. This is a story of a man who broke his own moral code, and now he has to face the consequences of doing so. And he's not just one man, but it's like, if you want to call it, he was a sicario, right? And being in Mexico, being in the middle of these waves of violence, sometimes, it's almost like I wanted to see the human side of a sicario who actually broke his own moral code, and now, like I said, has to pay the consequences of doing so. And I've always I'm half Catholic and I'm half Jewish, which is a lot of guilt that I have to carry with. But if to me, the what is justice, and in both religions, justice is eye for an eye, right? And I don't know if that's something that we still want to go by, and it was a movie packed with action, road movie that actually touched of this very important theme. It's like, what is justice and what does justice looks like, especially with a guy such as Neto, who used to, earn his money by torturing people or by getting things settled for a cartel, or for a mafia, you want to call it that way. So without really going into the narco setting, we're talking about these soldiers who they usually use to settle scores, and what happens when it's the other way around, and now someone that you hurt really, really bad now is coming for you and actually takes your son. So it was a great place to explore all those feelings and all those moral values.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, are you from Mexico?
I am from Mexico City, yes. And I'm sorry, but just to go back to the question, and everything that I said, and now tied it up in a little present, which it was written by one of Paul Schrader, which I'm a big fan from when I was a kid. So just seeing open the script and say written by Paul Schrader, it was like, okay, I got to direct this.
Now, as a Mexican director, because you directed a lot of projects in Mexico, how is it different for you to direct an American film?
Well, the first thing is language, right? You're always going to be wondering if you said the right thing, if you were able to express yourself correctly. Second is directing, is communicating and collaborating, with other artists as craftsmen, as yourself. So it was, for me, being able to transmit what I wanted to see in every scene, and it was pretty soon I understood, that they were understanding me, and that we were going in the same direction. But that was the first thing. The second thing is I'm a Mexican. I was born in Mexico, but I've never been able to watch movies in Spanish. I've always wanted to watch. I always see movies in English and just with subtitles. So being directing, and just, putting your headset, and seeing them speak in English, it was like a dream come true, because it's something that, oh my God, I'm doing what I want to do, and it's in English. So it's almost felt like I was in the movie theater watching, a film while I was directing it.
So how did you handle a production like this? Because from my understanding, it was filmed in the United States and in Mexico?
Correct. I would say 90% was shot in Mexico, actually, and just like 10% was shot in the States. We went to LA for just 1 week. And the rest we shot in Mexico. It's amazing that you cannot tell, but a lot of what needs to happen in the US, we shot in Mexico, and we made it look like the US. That's a big applause for the art directing team, and the photo team, but yes, a lot of it we shot in Mexico, and we just went for what was missing in LA. Actually there was like a 2-week window, that, we didn't shoot, and then we went to LA.
Well, tell us about why Jose was perfectly cast as the Jesuit in this film.
Well, there's 2 reasons. Number one, he has the right look, but to me, Neto is a man of few words, that transmits by it's almost like I used to tell him, it's like my grandfather, right? My grandfather would tell me to shut up when I was a kid just with his eyes, correct? And to me, that was Neto. It's like a Mexican forged in the old ways, when you need to say everything. And he was really happy with making this movie. He responded very well to the script creatively. He actually lost 20 kilos, which is, I don't know, 40 pounds to make this role, since we wanted to feel like he literally just came out of jail. And so he was completely devoted to it. And we share our views on Neto's character. We wanted him to be a badass, without, overplaying the role. And he did a magnificent job.
I think this is great. It's because you had an all-star cast, but I also had a major question about this, because in a film like this, you could easily turn to Latinos as Hispanics as villains, but instead we get like Ron Perlman, Tommy Flanagan, Neil McDonough as villains, and they're all white. Could you tell us about remark about that?
Yes, I mean it's the opposite, right? I mean, I'm actually the other day I was watching Billy the Kid, and it's like, yeah, all the bad guys are Mexican, right? But it's true. It's to me, it's interesting when you play, when you turn things around, and it's like, if you messed up in the US, well, I mean, and messed up with the wrong family, they have a lot of reach, and they're gonna come get you. And I mean, it's, they say reality sometimes it's fiction, Mr. Sands. I mean, it's not like I'm going to tell you, I met Mr. Sands before, but I did, we were shooting another thing, and like we saw this American who was this mobster and had this little army of kids, somewhere in Michoacan, and I'm like, it's just that they don't get the press, right? El Chapo gets all the press, but this doesn't mean that white guys are good and brown people are bad. It just depends where you were, when you were a kid, and like in Tijuana has a lot of mobsters which are not brown or dark. It's like they're white people, and it's to me, it was great to see the other way around. It's like, let's get rid of cliches, and just see what really happens if you kill the wrong people of a white family. They're gonna come hunt you, and with all their rage and with all everything.
Now, I one of the most interesting is the set that you had with the Ron Perlman scenes. The prison sets, in Mexico, and in the middle of the wilderness. Was that built on a sound stage for yourself in Mexico?
Yes, the outdoor scenes, they took place in Gilitla, which is a castle in San Luis, which was, but the underground scenes, they were soundstage. Yes.
Wow, that looked impressive. Watching a film, watching the film like that. So.
Yes. Bernardo, our production designer, did an amazing job on that set. Yeah, it definitely felt amazing, And it's interesting too, because Gilitla had those spaces, but obviously they were not friendly to shoot. And Jesus, I mean, it was like a 20-minute walk to get to the top of Gilitla and then go down. I mean, which would have been great, right? Because I always prefer locations to soundstage personally. It just, you're shooting with all the history and all the ghosts and everything that could have happened there. and I believe that all that ends up transpiring into the film itself. But we were there, we shot everything, everything that we could on the exteriors of that castle. And one of the interesting things that we needed was the water, playing the water that used to filter down into the basement. And I told Bernardo, I need that to be really essential, because it's almost like, we're in the underground, but the water that's on the outside still filters. And I think that also helped people, buy it, not feel like it was a soundstage.
Great. Well, let me wrap it up with one more question with you, Alfonso. It's because your film does not pull any punches with the violence. So what was most enjoyable for you? Because there's a lot of good fight scenes, there's a lot of good gun scenes, but I appreciate the torture scenes with Neil myself.
Oh, well, I guess I have a very dark soul, you want to put it that way, because I really enjoy them as much. And there's a magic to knowing that you're not hurting the person, but he's doing it as if you were. And to me, the word revenge, everything that you do is going to come back and haunt you. It's like the sins of our father will be paid by your son. Could not be as little as this movie, so I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's part of, I always say that whenever you're making a film, some part of you, you're working some part of you. And I guess I was working the dark side of me, and but hey, I mean, I was like a little kid, putting all those scenes together and talking to the actors, telling them what to do, even the action scenes. I wanted to be very violent. It's almost like you said, no punches were, pulled. It's almost like with just one hit, you take him down, because you had no time. Otherwise, they have your kid. So even if you end up fighting too long, something might happen to your kid. So that was one of the circumstances for the violence to be quick and smooth and as fast as possible. It's like, I need to do this. So if you're not going to talk, I'll start, taking your nails off, I mean, whatever I can do to make this quick, and you tell me where my kid is.
Well, you know what? I appreciate it, because this is a nice, gritty. I love gritty action films, and you delivered. So hey, thank you very much, Alfonso, for speaking to us about There Are No Saints, and everyone should definitely check this film out.
Yes, please go watch it. On the movies, if there's a movie nearby you that has it, or download it. Thank you.
Thank you.